It's a five-way scrap for the Interheats title at Daytona DMAX 2018, and here at Clay Pigeon, it's going to come to a very exciting head. Those five drivers, Chris Alcock, Bobby Trundley, Mike Coppin, Owen Genman and Andy Spencer, still only separated by as little as 97 points with 3 weekends to go. So we've got so much to play for with these 3 final races of the season. So who's going to take the top spot? Well, let's head to the final to find out.
Your grid looks like this. Starting on pole position, Chris Alcock, Ed White in second, Bobby Trundley third, Sean Briley in 4th place, Mike Coppin starting in 5th, Owen Genman in 6th place, Andy Spencer 7th, Chris Hackworth in 8th, Philip Senior in 9th, and Joe Ellis rounding out the top 10. Your 11th place is James Wattis with Curtis Mitchell in 12th, Bobby Dawes in 13th place with James McFadden in 14th, James Browning in 15th, and Lee Kerry rounding out the top 16.
Well, what this means in terms of the championship battle is that Chris Alcock has got exactly what he needed to out of this particular event, but he's taken 62 points away from this particular race. That's 1 more than Ed White, but crucially it's 2 more so far than Bobby Trundley. So as things stand, he's got 17 points now on Bobby Trundley coming into this final, and of course there are 50 points available for the win. It's going to be a very difficult one to get right this, so all of the drivers will want to do the best they can out of this race. Engine revs rise. Let's have a good race, gentlemen, and away we go. Great start at the front from Chris Alcock. Bobby Trundley trying to sort his way through into 2nd place past Ed White straight away early doors, and he's through. Mike Coppin's on the inside of Ed White as well. He gets through. Trundley through to the lead. Oh, that's brilliant on Alcock, and Coppin's got through into 2nd place. Alcock just about hangs on in there, but White is compromised. He drops back, and Briley is trying to make his way up the order, as is Spencer. So a very big jostle for positions, but it means that leading is Trundley. 2nd is Coppin from Alcock.
Relatively clean start from all drivers, a bit of side-to-side contact, but all managing to get through with a couple of drivers missing out.
Well, what a start from Bobby Trundley as he makes big ground on Mike Coppin and then takes over the lead of the race. Chris Alcock will not be terribly happy about the way that went down, so he'll want to get himself further up the order into 2nd place on the back of Trundley and Coppin as soon as is possible, and he's already set off in pursuit of that as Genman makes big places there in turn 2. He's made up a couple. Curtis Mitchell trying to get the move done as well, and he gets through. They're still jostling for positions in the mid-pack as Coppin goes for Trundley. Coppin makes the move on Bobby Trundley and gets the place. Chris Alcock is watching on intently as these two squabble away, but Mike Coppin has hit the front. Now, he has won a few times this year, don't forget, but he has yet to win a final in 2018.
That is very true indeed, yeah. So Coppin really wanting this one. He's got his head down. He's got Bobby Trundley in the slipstream as they go in. Bobby Trundley looks to the inside of turn 1. He locks up slightly. There's a bit of contact, but no one spins. Bobby Trundley still on the inside. Spencer follows. Spencer follows and gets 3rd. No, he doesn't. He's side by side, and now here comes Hackworth.
Here comes White as well to the left side of them as he tries to get his move on. Hackworth up the inside. Up to 4th position goes Hackworth. Alcock slips back to 5th position. White is now 6th. And through all of that, Spencer is through into P3. Brilliant racing.
Hackworth out of nowhere from that one. Really great racing.
White made a big move there and into the barriers. Into the barriers goes Alcock. That is the championship leader. Chris Alcock hits the barriers and is down to the back. And it's absolute carnage for the championship. So Bobby Trundley now leads. Coppin 2nd, Spencer 3rd, Hackworth is 4th from White, but the championship leader, Chris Alcock, has gone into the barriers.
That's Spencer in 4th.
Yeah, and White in 5th position. Alcock is going to argue at the end of the race that White basically went for a move that wasn't there. We'll look back on it again, and White definitely on the inside of Alcock, not a lot of room to manoeuvre, and Alcock, as a result of the overtake, ran out of road, got on the grass, and it's slippery, it's cold, and it's a little bit greasy. Bang! Into the barriers, and I don't know what on earth you make of that incident. I wouldn't want to be the race officials at that point. Is White due a penalty, or was that a racing incident? And Alcock has basically had a major hammer blow to his championship.
Oh, we've got yellows out. We've got yellows out for the barriers.
Damage to the barriers, yes. Green flags they go. Well, green flags, I think, but no. Spencer, well, there's confusion here. There's confusion
because the full course yellow was still out. I didn't see a green flag.
I didn't see a green flag. Spencer made the move on both Trundley and Coppin for the lead of the race. But from our point of view, the yellow flags were still out on circuit. I think Andy Spencer read that that was a green flag. Now it's a green flag. So a very confusing moment there. I think he saw that there were no yellow flags at the marshal's post, but there were no green flags.
No, I didn't see any green flags.
Well, now we have, so the race is back on. Trundley, Coppin, Spencer, White, Hackworth and Joe Ellis. But Bobby Trundley's got massive pressure from Mike Coppin. Coppin is going to make the move to the inside line. There's not a lot of space. Trundley's not giving him a massive amount of room. Coppin's going to keep it to the inside line. He gets through. Great driving from Coppin to hang on to it. Brilliant defense from Trundley to keep it together. He's now to the left. Spencer's going to make the move up the inside of Trundley. Trundley shuts down the move, but Coppin is into the lead of the race. Spencer third, White in fourth, Hackworth in fifth. Hackworth now trying to come past the inside of Ed White and has to drop back, but Mike Coppin is leading the final and he could well win it for the first time this year. Coppin has won 5 heats over the course of the season. Trundley has won the first 4 finals of the season, so there is a big amount of pride at stake here. Spencer dives for the inside of Trundley for second place and gets it. Trundley runs wide and he's furious. White is up to third position as a result.
Ellis on Genman through the hairpin. There was a slight bit of contact. He looks to the outside. Can he get the switchback? But there comes Hackworth. Hackworth looks to the inside. Can't get it done. And Genman and Ellis are still side by side. Ellis slots back in behind Genman. Is there going to be a lunge through the final corner?
Trundley
no, there isn't. But Trundley back up into third.
Trundley gets the move on White and signals to him. Come on, let's go get Spencer. But Coppin is looking very good for the victory here. It's slightly longer, of course, the final compared to the heat, so he's got a little bit more work to do, but he is still leading. Spencer second, Trundley third, White fourth, Genman now fifth in front of Hackworth, Ellis and Mitchell. This man out in front, Mike Coppin, has tasted victory 5 times this year in the heats, but he has not scored a 50-point victory over the course of this season in the heats. Spencer knows that and he hasn't either. Spencer goes for Coppin, they bang wheels and Coppin has to take to the grass. Spencer now back up the inside. Spencer goes for it. White's there on the inside. It's absolute pandemonium. White is through into the lead. Coppin hangs on in second. Hackworth is now third. There's loading going into the horseshoe. And Coppin somehow manages to avoid it. Trundley spins. Trundley spins. Unbelievable. Both the championship contenders, Alcock and Trundley, now out of the victory battle. Amazing. And now Ed White is leading. Coppin is second and Spencer is third. Hackworth up the inside of Spencer for third. He now makes the move and gets there. Hackworth into P3, but Ed White is now on course for his second final victory of the season. He won back in June, of course, but he'll want to get another one on the board. However, this is a big moment, a big crunch time for the second place man, Mike Coppin. He's got Chris Hackworth right underneath him. He knows he's there and he's going to have to fight for this battle. Ed White looks as though he's got this victory on a silver platter. There's a big gap as Hackworth now tries to make the move on Coppin. Spencer trying to come past Hackworth, and Mitchell and Ellis go side by side. Genman is going to get the undercut to come through on Curtis Mitchell. They run side by side. Hackworth dives for Coppin. He gets second. Spencer gets through. He's third.
Really good racing from all these drivers. So unfortunate for Coppin. He was leading a couple of laps ago. Now down in fourth. Won't be liking that. So he'll try and fight his way back through. But it looks like Ellis is going to get a run into the final bend. It doesn't look like get it, or does he? There's a bit of a nudge. Is he side by side? No, he isn't. He slots in behind. So Ellis still behind Coppin.
As the drivers finish off, but Coppin is desperately trying to hang on in front of Joe Ellis. They continue to run through, but out of the final turn, Ed White is leading as we get into the closing stages of this race. And now surely Ed White is going to be unchallenged in his run to the victory. Trundley is set to be 14th.
Well, yeah, there's going to be a bit of controversy. And then there's Mitchell, who's gone wide. Coppin's furiously waving his hands. I'm not sure why, but Mitchell has lost out 2 positions there.
Yeah, Coppin's not a happy bunny, but there is the checkered flag. It's going to be for the moment an Ed White victory. He will come through and take the victory dais. Ed White wins a very interesting final. He does not celebrate. Does he think he's going to get a penalty? Hackworth in second. Third is Spencer. Ellis fourth from Coppin and Genman. Mitchell, Briley, Senior and Bobby Dawes from James Watt, Chris Alcock, James McFadden, and a very sideways Bobby Trundley in 14th. Very, very angrily locking up at the end of the race there. 15th place for James Browning, 16th for Lee Carey, and we are still none the wiser as to how all of that settles itself out. A really exciting but dramatic race.
Definitely. I mean, the fact that Ed White didn't celebrate across the line for a final win is meaning, what does he think that's going to happen to him that happened with Alcock over in that corner?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder. It adds to the mystery. Does even he think that he deserves something from that?
Very interesting. We're going to have to figure out what happens on the podium.
Well done.
So Ed White taking the victory so fast he's had to go home, but we still have Andy Spencer here who fought his way valiantly into that third position spot. That was a pretty incredible final. There was so much going on throughout.
Absolutely nuts. I nearly had the lead at one point. That's actually my first heats podium. I've had a lot of thirds, fourths and fifths, but yeah, first podiums, I'm well chuffed with that. But it was a crazy race, and there's about 4 or 5 guys that could have won it, so I was pleased to come out of it on the other side and to get a trophy, so chuffed.
And now there's 2 rounds to go. Milton Keynes and Sandown. It's quite tight in the first few positions up at the top end of the standings. You could finish on a real high here.
Hopefully. Be nice to get some more silverware and we'll just see where we end up at the end of the year. I mean, I know this is my first year at it, and all the guys have been going to Sandown, Milton Keynes for years, and they're pretty much experts at it. So I think I might struggle a little bit, but I'll give it my best shot. It might rain, and that could throw a spanner in the works. We haven't really had many wet rounds this year, so who knows?
Good job. Fantastic performance today, Andy. Well done. Let's grab Chris Hackworth over. Chris Hackworth, second position. It was looking pretty hectic out there at times. I think you must be quite pleased with second position through all of that.
Yeah, some hectic heats and that for the chicane. 1.1 bloke facing backwards, but starting 8th for the final. And like I say, it was all kicking off in front and swapped a few places, and to come through second, I'm happy with that. But, next year, like I say, I can't afford to do the whole season, so which will be happy for some people. But yeah, I might do a few odd things, but I just don't have the money anymore. So I'm just kind of enjoying my racing this year. You know, I've won a lot of championships. I really enjoy the racing. It's normally great racing. We go to some great tracks, and like I say, I thank Daytona for all the years that we've been doing it.
Well, that is a bit of a news flash after so many titles. I mean, we hope you're going to still come back until you drop dead, to be honest.
Unless you give me some money.
Okay, I'll dig deep.
I can come back.
That's fine. I'll find a Swiss. I'll find some Swiss Nazi gold. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, good to see you, and great to see you in second place. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah.
So yeah, Ed White the winner, but the biggest news, of course, the 2 title contenders, Chris Alcock and Bobby Trundley, off the podium outside the top 10.
I know. Just you saw them in the final. Just when Trundley span, it was like, what on earth happened there? And yeah, just devastating for both of them. Devastating for both of them, but good points, good wins all round.
And for us, it sets up a bit of a showdown, which you guys want to be part of. So if you want to enter those last 2 rounds at Milton Keynes and Sandown, the phone number's below. The website is daytonamax.co.uk. See you at Milton Keynes.